This is going to be fun. Hello, this is Pixie doing another video. So, a while back did a meditation on a different star system. I tried to focus my consciousness into a star system. And I saw something that looked like it was a bit like a grey. But they like to call themselves celestials. Because they're space travellers, I guess. That's really what defines that as. When I saw some being, I didn't really think much of it. But recently I've had it come back in my mind. It's quite tall as well. And its head's more dome shaped, like an egg in that sense. And it's got more of a box face. So it's more square here. There is a sort of line, and then it goes across, and it's got a small mouth on it. And well, he has the classic colours, like being sort of a pale colour and having black eyes. It could be also the result of travelling around the stars with synthetic light. Other sources, maybe it's not quite the same. You know, if your home is space, then you know we all look like that. If I went into space and you know, if there was a way I could extend my life and live out there, maybe I'd start going under changes. Well, my eyes would look black, so they're more light absorbent. My skin's also thinner and white to absorb energy, basically, and absorb certain types of radiation. So Kurza is his name. Kurza, I think. Kiza. And when I saw him more closer up, a couple of his thumb was large, and his finger was large. The other ones are small, so he's pretty large. And yeah, he's quite strong forearms. His upper arms were sort of a bit thinner. He looked to be sort of above 6 foot, and the other feature he had is his arms were probably a human's arms that long. They seem to be a bit longer than a human's arm standing up. I was wondering if he could walk on his hands. If he needed to move quickly, would he leap around and stuff? I don't know. His kind of spiritual psychic level was higher than mine. He also had a thing where he opened his third eye, and we were doing something we were like shining. That's pretty much it, where you activate your kind of chakras. And you kind of feel there's a pulse, or you feel like there a kind of tension or pressure there. And it's really just switching on that nerve. It's a bit like if you twitched a thumb or twitched, you know, it's basically, there's a neuroscience to it. It's not like feeling this sensation because I'm having some type of a fantasy. It's just a sense of energy, electrical energy. So his one opened. It looked kind of like a goldeny, maybe a goldeny browny colour, and it was like on his forehead. Went up the side of his head, the top of his head, further up, and it was just a massive chakra opened up there. But I don't think he had a heart one, which was unusual, or his heart was in his head. There's something up there. It seems connected. I didn't sense it. I tried to open it up in him because I sense he's like third eye. I don't know. Maybe he's got a. Maybe it doesn't need it. It doesn't mean he ain't got a heart. It just means that his main system runs from somewhere else in his body. Like he's actually got a bigger head. Maybe because he's got I say, got the pump in there. The greatest weaknesses might be the back of their head. They might have for this. Well, it's got a certain shape to it, but it's not something you want. But it depends on the creature. You know, they vary. Just because they look like a certain type, because they're ancient. And I think travelling around in space for millennia has sort of changed their body, their physiology, into what they appear. But so yeah, I mean, he seems fairly fine. So it's like fairly dark room he was in. Looks like he's got like a metallic blue, and he did have a bed, and it wasn't too far off a human bed. But he also had the pillow specially shaped for his head, so his head would sort of slide into this shape. And I was seeing things in his world, and he was seeing things in my world. So the things I was around me, I was projecting into my mind, which is there anyway, because you have to reconstruct your environment. And I think I woke up thinking that space doesn't shrink, so it's an expansion of the universe. What happens is it expands inwardly. That's what something was said. So maybe it's folding in on itself, and it creates other dimensions. And in essence, that's probably true of humans. Energy-wise, we've got a massive biofield around us. They say you can spot us from outer space. The actual energy we knock out, it was like a radio wave or something. But there is an electro field around us, and that is probably the true size of you as a being, like a football field or something. But what happens is that it's all being compressed back on itself, so you've got like a denser density. That's what's really increasing. Just like energy waves, they echo and come back on each of themselves. And also the shape of the galaxy. They think it's a disk. It may actually be an orb, and that is folded around in the same way the planet is. So anything we find, the science here on this world, should be a universal science. So, you know, for energy to be spread out into a disk means a point of dissipation. But then what does the other part of it mean? Maybe it's the eye, so maybe we are inside something larger. And they say it's greater light in the middle of the universe. Or like it's a fireball, and we're actually on the back side of it. Ooh, yeah. So it's something just to meditate on. It's good to sort of explore it. You know, I always look at these things with open mind. But the feedback, I mean, basically, I was getting a higher resolution picture of him than I did before, and the fingers was quite, like I say, I always look for features. I think he's got like 3 toes, they're different. Jesus, it's bloody light now. Oh no! The car zooming off when I was driving down, overtaking it. It just decided to move off. It always indicate before they move. It's always easier. There we go. Let's be sign off, everyone. As we can